Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Hamilton Southeastern High School, home of the Royals and the Indiana Girls Lacrosse Association Game of the Week. And it should be a dandy here tonight. The Royals ranked number 3. They've won 7 out of their last 8 games. They'll take on a Zionsville team who comes in at 11-2 on the season. The tournament is right around the corner. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading farm equipment dealer since 1955. Boilermaker Local 374, representing highly skilled workers in field construction and metal fabrication in Indiana. Wheeler Mission, a pillar in the Indianapolis community for over 131 years. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partners since 1986. The Morales Group, they're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Piper Logistics, your trusted logistics partner since 1994. Aspen Creek Grill, the largest selection of great food made from scratch and very affordable. And the IndianaSRN sports page, daily sports coverage border to border and coast to coast. Go to IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Beautiful night. We're hopefully going to keep the rain away, Matthew, because we're expecting maybe one of the best games we could have had all year long between these two teams. And all the information we have, we've got preseason All-Americans, we've got players that are approaching some milestones in their career, and all indications are we've seen these teams before. This could be a fun one right down to the very end.
Yeah, that's exactly true. I mean, remember seeing the last time that I was at least on the mic with you, we saw Cathedral and Zionsville, and we thought it was going to be a close game, but actually it turned out that Zionsville just came out red hot and smoked them. I hope that doesn't happen. I want a good game so I can get the excitement and the anxiety that comes with that. And I'm looking very forward to this game, as you said, with lots of players coming into close milestones, with DeHart just 7 off and Ventrone 4 off of goals-wise, those career milestones. Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about this Zionsville team. And we talked about a team that the last time we did their game, the quickness that we saw in that contest against Cathedral might have been the one thing that stood out the most of anything. We knew they were going to be good, but their ability to get a draw control, move down the field, and score was just almost unbelievable.
Yeah, and led by DeHart, we saw her and figured out what 6 goals in one game was with the sock trick, and coming out there and leading Zionsville on the offensive side definitely is what stood out to me on the Zionsville side.
Yeah, by the way, Alexa DeHart now just 7 away from 200 career goals. This year, 65 goals coming in. And Ava Ventrone, who we talked about as well, 96 career goals She has 58 this year. They will need both of them tonight to really be on their game against a very good Hamilton Southeastern team.
Yeah, we saw, as you said, Ventrone, 4 goals off of 100 career goals. We saw that Alexa DeHart, she's committed to Lindenwood University, verbally committed to go play lacrosse there. Lots of collegiate talent here in the building.
Well, on the other side, this is a Royals team, and when you think about not only girls but boys lacrosse, you think about Hamilton Southeastern. The boys program is very good. The girls program is ranked number 3. They've won 7 out of their last 8. And we talk about, 3-4 players that are All-American watch list type players, and they're just maybe as loaded as anybody in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely true. Hamilton Southeast definitely loaded in the lacrosse category with Armstrong, Gastineau. I mean, all of those players in there leading, but performing very well. Definitely going to be a good, close game today. Looking forward to it.
And the Bradley sisters, Reese Bradley, an All-American watch list player, 32 goals this year, lockdown defensive player. We'll keep an eye on her tonight. Of course, when you talk about Olivia Bradley, another All-American watch list player. She, by the way, will be the one player you really watch defensively. She will force turnovers, and that's the kind of player she is. She's coming in with 30 forced turnovers in this one tonight. We talk so much about offense, but tonight it might be defense that could be the difference.
Yeah, I remember talking in the Cathedral game, the Cathedral Zionsville game, we were looking at the goalkeepers and their high goal save percentages. I think today it's going to be maybe not the keeper side, but just defense in general. And I think what sticks out to me is Reese Bradley showing how good of a two-way player she is.
Yeah.
Great defense, but also can go out on the other end and score herself a goal.
And there are other names we'll be mentioning a lot here tonight. Edie Fisher will be one, a 4-year varsity player. Coach talked about her huge catch radius that she has. It means there's not going to be a whole lot of passes that'll get by her tonight. You mentioned Gastineau a little bit ago. Emma Reichert is another player who's going to Eastern Michigan, 18 goals, is maybe as fast as anybody that we'll see tonight. You have Nora Brandenburg, who is a defensive player that's kind of an anchor on that defense. But let's talk about the goalies, because we know how big that'll be here tonight. Jay Johnston, we saw her the last time out for Zionsville. 89 saves. Her save percentage might be a little bit low at .471, but she's still very good, only giving up 9.6 goals per game. And then, of course, on the other side, you talk about Ellie Philhauer, the senior. Great communicator, great hands. So those two are going to be a key tonight as well.
Yeah, Philhauer, 57 saves through 12 games. As you said, great communicator, sees the field well. Quickly sees the offensive threat is what it says here on my notes. Hard worker, and she is going to be attending Butler this fall, majoring in nursing.
By the way, and when we start running down some of these players, we have a lot of information we'll try to share, because this will be our last game for Hamilton Southeastern this year, because they will play at Fishers on Saturday, and then we think about tournament time, and we possibly will see them again sometime in the tournament. I think semifinals and the finals are the games we'll do on both the boys and the girls side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see these two teams again, depending on how the whole thing comes out when the ratings come out as well.
That's definitely true. Both teams show qualities that they can make this deep postseason run. And honestly, if you told me that these two met in the finals, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah.
And I think this will give us a little insight on this game.
All right, we'll come back. We'll get things started in a moment. It's Hamilton Southeastern, Zionsville coming up next on the Indiana Girls Lacrosse Association Game of the Week.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern, great to have you with us here tonight for Indiana Girls High School Lacrosse. Last matchup for Hamilton Southeastern, they won at Cathedral by a final of 12-6. So in a common opponent aspect of it, Zionsville, the game we had last time you and I were together, it was a 15-6 win. Zionsville at one point had built a 10-0 lead before Cathedral got on the board in the second quarter of that contest. So let's talk about fast beginnings in this one. And it may not make a difference tonight because these two teams are very high-powered offensively, but you would hope maybe you can kind of set the tone early.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of our key takeaways here to look forward to is this first quarter, who is going to come out on top. I think this first quarter is going to set the pace of what's going to happen. And as we saw Zionsville last time, scoring, I believe it was 5 in the first quarter there, coming out quick, fast, getting those goals. And that ultimately, momentumly wise speaking, they what led them to the overall victory there. So if Hamilton Southeast can play defensively, stop Zionsville from scoring those quick goals right off the bat, I think it's going to set things up for success for Hamilton Southeast.
And we know how important draw controls are, and we're going to see who's going to win most of those tonight because a lot of times you'll see the team that has the most DCs ends up winning the game because they get more possession. So it will be Zionsville, their first draw control of the night. Want to remind you that tonight's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana Girls Lacrosse Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IGLSA is prohibited. All right, Zionsville on offense first, and they immediately get into the critical scoring area. And a turnover, that'll be their first of the night. Good defense by HSC forcing that first turnover. We mentioned Jay Johnston, if I quickly can again, a 9.62 goals against average. On the other side, Ellie Philhauer, her goals against average is at 15.49, but I think it's a little misleading as well. But you said, too, she has 57 saves.
We saw Zionsville quickly get into that scoring area. I mean, very quickly.
And just like that, Hamilton Southeastern on the board. It'll be Evelyn Armstrong, the senior, picking up her 32nd goal of the year. And the Royals lead this one 1-0.
Armstrong quickly getting on the board there. Said that she's an extremely versatile player, best stick handler on the team. And I think that was shown right there as a quick reception of the pass. Boom, goal. 32 now on this season.
And by the way, where did that come from? Off a turnover. And we have many games this year we talked about that, a turnover leading to a goal.
Yeah, great defense leads to great offense, and majority of the time great offense leads to goals. And another perfect example right there.
So back to draw control, and let's see if HSC will get this one, a whistle, and it will be HSC coming away with it. And they're quickly into the critical scoring areas. They got it inside the 8-meter. We'll reset it out front. Very patient offensively. We have seen that already this year. If there's nothing there, they generally will not force it. And Zionsville, again, very good defensively. It's the high pass in front of the cage and a pickup there for the Eagles, and they'll head the other way.
think speed is going to be another key to this game. And I've noticed that with women's lacrosse in general. The faster you are, the more likely you're going to get to the goal. And when you get to the goal, great things tend to happen.
Well, then you can't turn it over, and an opportunity here for the Royals right in front of the cage, and unfortunately couldn't hold on to it, so HSE will give it back, and Zionsville in transition the other way. Ball loose at midfield, and here come the Eagles once again. Outside the 12, quickly, dash to the inside, but nothing available there for Alexa DeHart. We mentioned earlier, DeHart, 193 career goals. So very, very close to that 200 mark. I don't think there's any doubt about it. She'll get it by the end of the year, and a high pass. And I know that from that standpoint for Zionsville, they're frustrated by that because they're a much better passing team.
Yeah, definitely a much better passing team. And I think goals alone can show that when you have two players reaching one reaching 200 career goals, one reaching 100 career goals, I think that's not an accident. Good passes lead to good shots, and good shots lead to good goals, and that is just a good representation there.
That was a pass inside that Reichert threw to the middle, had a cutter coming down the lane, unfortunately, for Alexa DeHart. She may have taken that one off the noggin right there on the pass to the inside, so it will go back over here to Zionsville. And the official, I think they might have started play before he was ready to go, as he'll be back out on the field once again, just under the 9-minute mark remaining here in the opening period of play. And once they get the official ready to go, it will be Zionsville. See if they can get a successful clear and move, as they do generally, very quickly down the field into the offensive zone, which again is something that we were really impressed by the last time. But this is a different team here in Hamilton Southeastern, trying to force the turnover here, and they do. Already 4 turnovers now for Zionsville here in the opening period of play. Armstrong will work behind the cage. And you'll see that the Eagles will chase defensively. That's something we saw a lot against Cathedral. They were not giving the Fighting Irish any working ability offensively outside that 12-meter for sure, as we have a whistle, and we may have our first free position shot of the night. And we'll have it straight away here for Hamilton Southeastern. So an opportunity here for Sarah Gastineau. Hash mark straight away, will bounce it in, and the score, and it's 2-0. Great play by Sarah Gastineau.
And that's just another example of those free play shots are a big factor in this game. And time again, we've seen these free play shots as we get another look here. Bouncer quickly into the goal there, and the amounts of goals that have come off of those free open shots tend to decide the game. And we've seen that in at least the last 3 games that I have worked and that I've been on the microphone here.
Well, an early 2-0 lead, so for the Eagles, they might be a little bit shocked right now that they're generally a team that gets out to a fast start, but tonight they've been guilty of turning it over 4 times, and Hamilton Southeastern has made them pay for it here early. So another draw control opportunity. And, of course, this is always fun to watch to see who's eventually going to come up with that 50-50 ball, and it will be HSE once again. So back on offense now for the Royals. They've won 7 out of their last 8 coming into this one tonight. So generally, as a coach will tell you, they're playing really good lacrosse at just the right time. Nice pass, the turn, and the score. Great offensive execution. And Anna Silver picking up goal number 14 of the year, and that was picture perfect that time for the Royals.
Silver, not a name that was particularly on our radar for goals, but she has shown out today and proved that she can receive the pass, quick shot, and a goal on a on a great defensive team here that Zionsville has produced in the last couple games. Today, Zionsville coming out quite a bit sloppy today on the side of defense, and I would just say overall, and we're only just over 4.5 minutes into this game, and it's 3-0.
3 different players have now scored for the Royals, and that one came just 30 seconds after the Gastineau goal. So Zionsville needs a timeout right here to regroup, as they are now trailing it early in this one. And we talked about a fast start earlier and which team might get out to the fastest start here tonight. And now it is the Royals who are kind of setting the tone early. And the one thing about it, on the road, Zionsville, you're going to have to learn how to play on the road, and they have this year, but it's a tough place to come here and play. I mean, you're talking about a lot of heritage and a lot of great teams over the years here for HSC. It's hard to come in here and win.
Yeah, they tend to host a very great fan inclusion as well. The fans getting in there, messing with the atmosphere, creating a great home atmosphere. And I think that's with any team across any sport. When you come into a home where they have great atmosphere, great fan interaction, coming in and defeating a good team that has all of that behind them, it's tough to do that in any way. And
in a game like this, too, you want to, if you can set the tone for if you do meet again and you have that psychological advantage of, hey, we beat you the last time, that can be a big advantage in tournament play, too.
And I think the same thing could happen with Cathedral. I mean, they're still highly ranked. We saw them last time coming into the game they were ranked 5th. And so if at all in any postseason, even if it's early or later on, Zionsville's going to go into that game and they're going to be like, hey, we beat you when you were ranked.
Yeah.
And not only did we beat you, we blew you away.
So a draw control opportunity for both these teams once again, and an early 3-0 lead for HSC. You can kind of tell right now, not only did they set the tone, but you won 7 of 8. The only loss they had was to Guerin, and that was a 12-10 loss. But the way they've come here tonight ready to play in this matchup has been very impressive. And we can only go by what we saw at Zionsville the last time and how good they were. So I'm sure that after that quick timeout by Lindsay Gone trying to get her team back on track here tonight, they don't want this thing to get out of control too early in this one. So the draw control again for the Royals, and they are quickly in the critical scoring area. That shot a little bit wide left. Reichert had a good look, maybe not a great angle, with Johnston sliding over to her left, but it will stay here with the Royals. And all of their shots right now, they have not had to go deep. Everything's been pretty much inside the 8-meter area, and that's a kind of a troubling sign there for Zionsville. They're going to have to force those offensive players out further.
Well, and thinking back to Silver's goal, in our notes here, it says that HSC wants her to use her height to her as her advantage, and getting close to the cage with her quick stick into the back of the net. And I think that in general is what's going to help HSC just edge out, and it definitely has here with 3-0 in the first quarter.
Free position opportunity once again as Sarah Gastineau on the board at 6:22. And nice play, unless they called that off right there. Looked like it had gone in, but apparently it did not, so we're going to stay at 3-0. And Gastineau had a great jump on that free position opportunity. So now Zionsville back the other way in transition. And this is something that they do really well, as we talked about before. Ball to the inside on the cutter, able to pick it up and fire and miss. First real opportunity of the night here for Zionsville. That might have been Ava Ventrone, who's looking for her 59th goal of the year. It will stay with Zionsville as we are under the 5:40 mark of the opening period of play. Boy, that would have been big if Gastineau would have gotten number 2 on the night on that free position shot. Ball came loose, and Zionsville will hold on to it. That penalty against HSC.
I'm looking for Ventrone or DeHart to get in there and get a goal very quickly. I think it can happen, especially here on this play. Being able to actually set up an offense here and run a set play. I'm looking for a goal here from one of those two.
Well, there's one of them. That is DeHart, who they're hoping will get on track right here. Unfortunately, stick check lost it. Turnover by Zionsville. And I have a feeling as they give it right back that DeHart's going to draw a lot of double teams tonight.
Yeah, and I think the other Eagles, not DeHart, have got to use that to their advantage to draw the double team on DeHart. She quickly finds a fellow Eagle and get a goal there, as there's always going to be an open player.
That one a nice lane toward the keeper, but Philhauer able to get the save, and unfortunately HSC turns it over once again in their own zone. Nice pass to the inside. It'll be DeHart turning and firing and scoring, and that's what the turnover will do. Alexa DeHart, number 66 on the season, 194 for her career. And that's a goal they needed.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that DeHart is only a junior. She is a class of 2026, only just here at the end of her junior season, and is closing in on that 200 career goals. To only be done in 3 seasons is quite the milestone there.
Well, we'll go back to what we said a little bit ago, and this goes for both teams. We have seen where they had turned it over and it led to a goal, and that just shows you how valuable it is to hold on to possessions as much as you can.
And they turned the ball over not once, but twice in a row. And when you turn the ball over twice in a row on your own, they weren't even past the 35. And when you're that close to the goal, good things are going to tend to happen.
Draw control by the Royals once again. They quickly get into the critical scoring area. Nice move to the inside with the left hand. Reese Bradley read that one extremely well. And it's now a 4-1 lead, and that's a great way to come back here for the Royals and answer the DeHart goal.
I like that move. She goes towards around the cage and just goes, oh, nobody picked me up. Let me go back to the goal. Nobody's picked me up. I have a free open shot. And she made good use of it on that goal. As we said, 33 now goals in these past, this is game number 13, averaging 2 2.2 goals per game. That's already number 1.
Bradley came back within 12 seconds of the goal there by DeHart, so that's, again, quickly answering the call that time for HSC. Bradley, an All-American watch list player. Not only is she, again, we talked about her being able to be that lockdown defensive player, but able to score, and I'm like you, I really love that decision there and really caught the keeper off guard. I think Johnston may have thought, well, she's not going to shoot it from there, and she did. Draw control won by Zionsville. We head the other way, and they'll quickly get into the critical scoring area. Nice move to the inside, but then losing it is Ventrone on her way to perhaps get a shot attempt on the board, but then another turnover.
If Ventrone would have been able to hold on to that ball going that quickly towards the goal, I think that would have turned out to be a goal.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading farm equipment dealer in Indiana. For more information, give them a call, 317-849-0810. Almost saw another turnover there by Zionsville. And they'll be outside that 12-meter area. See where their work here as they stay straight away. And you can see that HSC defense doing a nice job staying to the inside, making sure that lane was covered up.
That's something that Zionsville does really well. They find the lanes, they penetrate the lanes, looking for something open, they shoot, and most often than not, the ball tends to find the net.
Ava Ventrone tried to pick up her 59th of the year, and another nice play by Philhauer in goal. I bet she can't clear it, and then that shot's going to be wide by Helbing, who had a chance to make this a 4-2 contest. Very careless play there out of goal by Philhauer. You got to make sure you clear that and get it downfield. So far, HSC unofficially 7 turnovers here in this opening period of play, and I'm sure that'll be an adjustment they'll make. Stick check from behind, but a little bit too high on the arm, and so that'll go against Zionsville. And HSC a chance here to make it a 5-1 lead. Nice pass to the inside, but just maybe a little bit behind, and a turnover. Back over again to the Eagles. And then another turnover the other way. The shot and the save. Great job that time by Johnston. Good look there at HSE defensively. They're going to make sure that they're going to put pressure on the keeper to try to clear that out of there and not make it easy. And we've got a whistle against HSC here. Is that going to go against Zionsville? We'll wait and see. They will say it will be Zionsville. So that penalty against the Royals. As we are coming up on a minute remaining in the opening period of play. And boy, this has been a tough one so far. Turnovers both ways. Good look here at Gastineau. Gastineau working back to the middle of the field. It got a little crowded right there, too, once she started to make that move. But once she circles, finds a lane, then knocked out of her stick, and a whistle. The outside official makes the call. That's a good move, though, by Gastineau.
Yeah, that sidestep, cutting through two defensive players, getting to the goal. Unfortunately for her, an Eagle was able to just get their stick in there and poke it out. Or else that probably was going to be a goal as well.
Free position opportunity here for Gastineau. Gets a nice jump, low shot, knocked away. Good save by Johnston once again for Zionsville.
I think Johnston was ready for that one. She has seen the ground, the ball go to the ground numerous times now. She's starting to predict it. I would look for HSC to start trying to find another way to get the ball into the goal.
Reese Bradley gets the yellow. So Zionsville will be one up here. 35 seconds remaining. Waiting for the official to restart play here. The Zionsville player that went down was number 3, Ava Ventrone, and she took quite a spill. You see 3 players chasing her. Ventrone very good in the open field, trying to dodge to her right. Now to the inside, and the shot going to be knocked down once again. Good effort that time by Alexa DeHart. Still time here for HSC to get a goal as we're coming up on 10 seconds remaining. Pass a little bit behind the receiver, and it'll be picked up by Gastineau. Gastineau left, shot, and the score. Unless we wait, the official from behind may wave it off. The whistle came before the shot by Gastineau, but it will be a free position shot for Gastineau here. Otherwise, that would have been a goal with 4 seconds remaining.
I would look for something not that bouncer. We've seen Johnston predict the last one.
Good jump and a low shot, and this time it will go in, and Gastineau gets her second of the night. And as time runs out in the opening period of play, Hamilton Southeastern on top of this one, 5-1.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
We're not here to just sell you another piece of software. We're here to helping you procure the licensing, manage and monitor those licenses over time,
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization. We definitely work as a team to deliver solutions for our customers.
We're here to build relationships with customers, which is unique.
Hi, I'm Grayson, and our parents work in road construction. Every day they head out to make our roads safer and better for you. But did you know work zone deaths have increased 63% since 2010?
Wow, that's a lot. Please slow down and pay attention when you see all those orange signs. When you do, you're helping to keep our parents and everyone who works on the roads safe. Thanks for looking out for us.
This message is brought to you by your friends at Highway Safety Services. Stay safe, stay alert.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Give them a call, 317-472-7600. Well, I tell you what, the last time we did Zionsville, it was the opposite, and now we see Hamilton Southeastern. If they don't turn the ball over as much as they did, this really could be 7-8 to 1 at this stage. So Zionsville's got to feel pretty fortunate. They're only down by 4 right at this point.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the turnovers costed them big. Could have been up more. I think HSE should still be happy they're up 4. Definitely not take that for granted. But Zionsville definitely got to get back on the horse, get back on the train, and show out what they did the last time that we did one of their games, and come back scoring hot, scoring fast, and to move the pace up and play their game.
So Gastineau leading the way so far with 2 goals tonight for Hamilton Southeastern. We will head to the draw control. Big advantage right here, at least from a standpoint tonight, is the ability for HSE to score and score quickly. Their first 3 goals that they had, you ended up getting all those within 2 minutes and 45 seconds or so. Draw control won by Zionsville. Let's see what adjustments they have made as we head now to period number 2. We did the HSE Mason boys game last night, and those are 2 very, very good teams, and Mason ended up winning that game. The one thing you liked about, there's an errant pass, the one thing you did like about HSE last night for the boys is they never gave up. They could have been in one of those situations where it could have been a blowout, but they just fought to the very end. And so you're going to see that no matter what happens here tonight, both teams will do that.
I think I enjoy that better. I as a fan of sports, as a spectator of sports, I think when a team just gives up, they kind of put the bench players in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, well, I just want to leave here and I don't want to waste my time anymore.
Well, that did not happen last night. As you see, Hamilton Southeastern, Gastineau once again quickly getting into the critical scoring area, and nothing there doesn't force it and now set it up. Each team ended up with a turnover in that possession in the first minute or so. Nice pass to the inside, the turn, and the score again. And Hamilton Southeastern, that's going to be Anna Silver. Silver getting number 2 of the night, and HSE now leads it by 5.
I'm going to take another quick look at this. Great find, turn, shot, quick. One might call her Quicksilver.
Oh, look at you. Good job. that Anderson education doing you well so far.
You are perfectly right. I get my edumacation.
6-1 your score. Silver has 2, Gastineau has 2. Draw control won by HSC. You see the Eagles are now chasing a little more. This is what we saw that really was one of their success stories against Cathedral, is their ability to really defend all the way down the field.
It's like in basketball, putting on that full court press, wanting to get the stop closer to the goal that you're shooting at, so that you can quickly put it in, turn around, get back on defense, do the same thing.
Now the question is at this stage, we got a long way to go, yes, but the tone has been set now for HSC. If you're Zionsville, you got to find a way to get that offense rolling, and it just has not been there so far tonight. So my question is, what are they going to do to get it going? How about that? Well, you got to play defense first.
Yeah, definitely not giving up goals would be ideal if you're Zionsville there, one. But two, I mean, you kind of alluded at it before the goal there. Great defense. You got to start. Great defense leads to good offense. A good offense leads to scoring. I mean, I've said it time and time again, and I stand fully behind that.
Well, Silver did it again, and it's probably what, your line a little bit ago is now it inspired her even more as she gets her third of the night. Hat trick now for Silver, and HSC now leads it 7-1.
That's not something that you want to do here if you're Zionsville. You come back. You were down 4 at the first quarter, which is very obtainable, very, very able to come back from. But when you're less than 3 minutes into the game in our second quarter, you give up 2 more goals. Now HSC's got, they figured out what works, and if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Well, you see that HSC defense has been very impressive, and they're doing to Zionsville what Zionsville generally does to other teams on defense to really force them out away from the goal area. And there's another turnover. 9 now for Zionsville tonight, and in transition, here's Reichert. Reichert looking back to the outside, an errant pass once again, but they will hold on. It'll be Gastineau. And the ball comes loose, and you're probably going to see a lot of this the rest of the way because these two teams are so good with the stick checks and your inability a lot of times to get by those double teams. Here come the Eagles once again. Mahalik now working right of the cage. This is something, again, Zionsville has had success this year. If they remind me a lot of both these teams so far, teams that are very good at 3 different speeds. One of those, their best, is to get down and score quickly. But if it's not there, they don't mind settling in, working a half offense, and then looking for the right lanes to score from. So something to work on quite a bit. And they've had success all year long. So that's good defense right there.
One of HSC's defensive anchors, and we saw her this last time on when Zionsville was on offense, is number 29, Nora Brandenburg. We saw her read the pass like a Dr. Seuss book. The pass from DeHart, that was the last time on offense for Zionsville, which led to a forced turnover, and we see her right there playing defense. Brandenburg for HSC, the real defensive anchor there at the low post for HSC.
Well, so far, not a whole lot of areas to try to find an open shot there. Stick check from behind. Good job by Olivia Bradley. And we head the other way. Zionsville could not find a lane to try to get a shot. And though they held on to the ball quite a bit, they turn out with nothing other than a turnover. That is now 10 in the first half. Ball comes loose once again, and HSC will give it up.
I thought that was a little dangerous there. We saw one of the Eagles scoop it towards their own goal, their own goalie, which I think, the idea there was to get it to the goalie, but there was a player from HSC right there. Easily could have been picked up right into the goal, but successfully for Zionsville. A little dangerous, though.
They always tell you, don't, like in basketball, don't throw the ball back toward the other team's goal. That's kind of what you're mentioning there.
Yeah.
Coming up on 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. Zionsville trailing it by 6. They have been stymied offensively here tonight. That shot is high. It was Addie Faber looking for her 26th of the year, and might have been a stick check part of that as well, and that's kind of the key. You need stick on stick as much as you can.
I think the bright side there for Zionsville is at least they got something on goal, something out of their own net towards the goal. Now it was a little bit high, but you got to take baby steps there.
Well, time is going to be a factor pretty soon here in this first half. And look at all the white jerseys. They're going to make sure there's no way that DeHart is going to beat them. Nice turn in the score off the pass, and that's going to be Faber. So Faber stops the 4-goal assault put together by HSC over the last 4 scores, and boy, they needed that one.
Yeah, great pass by DeHart picking up the assist there, and Faber able to find the lane, and it's one of those things where if you can draw the contact, draw the defense, and then able to free up one of your teammates, it's going to get things for success there for your own teammates. Kind of like a bait and switch, if you will. Draw the contact, and I'm the decoy.
Draw control opportunity once again, and it will be Zionsville picking up number 5 on the night. So now if you're a Zionsville fan, perhaps you can get another one here, get that momentum going back in your direction before halftime, which will be a huge key. And you certainly don't want to give HSC the ball back if you can certainly help it, especially off a turnover. Nice dive to the right, nothing there for Ventrone. You can tell that HSC defense really focusing a lot on Ventrone as you would in DeHart, both the way they can score. High pass outside the 12-meter. Ventrone trying to fight her way in, and I think they're going to get Ventrone. And that's going to go back over now to HSC. 50-50 ball at midfield. It'll stay with the Royals. Reagan James will work quickly down, and then the shot is going to be knocked down. Great job there by Johnston, because that was a shot that was right in front of the cage. Looked like that might have been Anna Silver once again.
That was, what, a 3-on-1 there? And you do not see a whole lot of those tend to go end up towards the goalie on those.
So now here come the Eagles once again. That is Alexa DeHart splitting 2 defenders, fires and scores, but let's see if she got it off before the whistle. If not, it will be a free position opportunity here for Zionsville.
I think I saw the referee wave it off.
So it will be a free position shot here now for Zionsville. And it will be Alexa DeHart. Hash mark to the right and fires and scores. DeHart in a free position opportunity is sometimes almost unstoppable.
195 now for DeHart. Career goals. I don't think that she'll be able to get 5 more. I don't think it's impossible, and I'm not going to, put a cap on what her capabilities are. And if she were to do it, I would be totally okay with that. But being realistically, I don't think that it'll happen.
She might be listening and take your challenge.
You know what? I would love that, actually. Challenge me.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Boilermaker Local 374, representing highly skilled workers in field construction here in Indiana. You can count on Boilermaker Local 374. Draw control, Zionsville. Their 6th of the night. Down by 4. Nice move to the inside. The stick check from behind as Alexa DeHart tried to make that move up high. We head the other way.
The one-handed catch there in the transition.
Good look here, right, and the shot and the score. It'll be Emma Reichert. And coming back less than a minute later, and HSC gets one back. They lead at 8-3.
great to see Reichert back on the field. In my notes, it tells me that she had a major ACL injury at this, not this past summer, but the summer before, and she missed playing the season. So technically her first full season back, with it being her senior year. Great to see her back on the field, and a shot like that coming off a ACL injury last year, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very, very much so. Well, it's tough if you're Zionsville to see that you got 2 in a row, and then HSE comes back with that Reichert goal, and you gave one back, and so you're going to climb that hill a little bit more here with 2:52. I think the one thing about it is now you can't afford to give up another one here in the first half.
Yeah, if you can, ideally, like if I'm head coach, ideally if you win the second period, that's what you want. But if you at least tie it, you can live with that.
Yeah. Well, let's find out. Another draw control here for Zionsville. Unofficially 7 on the night. Good look there at Ventrone, trying to get it into the critical scoring area. And a chance here again for Zionsville. Can they cut it down to 4? That shot is low, and it did bounce in. Let's see if it did. That's number 21, which is Sydney Rose. Phil Howard was going down to her right. That ball just skipped underneath her net, and they'll get one back here. So Zionsville has now scored 3 out of the last 4, and they're back to within an 8-4 score.
That is a great job right there by Zionsville, returning the goal that they just gave up with a goal of their own. And that was less than 15 seconds, right? I mean, there was not a whole lot of time off the clock there.
Went from 2:52 to 2:29.
A little bit more than that. But still, the quick goal there is exactly what Zionsville needed. And if they can come back out and do this, copy and paste. If they can come back, do the same thing, and win this quarter, run the rest of the quarter out, only down 3 at halftime, I'll call that a win.
Very high scoring, though, in a lot of ways here in the first half. We kind of thought it would be because of the way these two offenses operate and have been really consistent all year long. As HSC will set it up once again. The shot and the score. How about that? Reichert does it again. And now they get another one back, and that's exactly what we talked about a little bit ago for Zionsville, not giving up a quick goal, and they've been pretty much doing that all night long.
Yeah, and that is the exact reason why she is committed to go play at Eastern Michigan coming this fall. The great speed that she has on her, able to get to the net quickly, and just that quick dumping motion. I don't know what you call it, but the quick shot finds nets most often than not.
18 seconds between the Rose score and then Reichert coming back. We have seen HSE doing that pretty consistently. If they give up a goal, they've come right back and answered. Draw control chance again, and it will be Zionsville, number 8 on the night. They're going to quickly get into the offensive zone here for the Eagles. And looks like we might have a high stick right here, and that caught Alexa DeHart. She ended up losing her goggles. And she'll take a minute here. She is shaken up a little bit. Now we wait and see what the officials will call here. I don't see that we have a yellow coming out yet. The trainers will come out and check her. The one thing that they can't do is lose this young lady here, because that is one very talented player. As we mentioned earlier, she's going for 200 career goals, and yeah, they still got a lot of firepower, but she's kind of one of those players you can't afford to lose.
Yeah, like you said, almost 200 goals in just 3 seasons. She is out for the rest of the game. That is going to be quite the shot to the stomach there for Zionsville.
Well, she's heading to the sidelines under her own strength. You see her right there, so she will not stay in for this free position shot. That will be now up to number 16. It's going to be Anya Gorjaveski who is going to check in here straight away on this free position shot. This is only the second of the night, DeHart had the last one, and the save, and that one almost crossed the line. Nice job by Phil Howard to get a foot down there and stop it. Pass a little bit behind, and it will go out of bounds on the near side. It was intended here on the near side. In fact, it was a great break the other way. They got into the offensive zone. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much off the mark.
Yeah, back to Ellie Phil Howard down here. On my notes, it says that she is a hard worker and spends time actually practicing with the boys team, working on her skills over the off season. I like that. Using there's a lot of differences between men's play and women's play. The pace to it, the physicality to it, the contact of it, and getting used to how the men play, I think can actually be a very...
It's raining.
Oh.
That came out of nowhere. So now Zionsville. Can they get one before we head to halftime? Ventrone tried to make that dodge back to the inside to her right. Good defense again by the Royals. Sydney Rose. Rose behind the cage. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining. Looking to the shot, and a nice save again by Phil Howard. So now we'll head the other way. Ball comes loose near the sideline as the clock is now under 5 seconds, and that's going to do it for the first half. An impressive first half for Hamilton Southeastern, putting 9 on the board here today, and you got to be very impressed with what you've seen out of the Royals in the first half, no doubt.
Yeah, and this is, if I would have been able to predict what was going to happen this game, I would have guessed that the first 2 periods would look identical to what that second period looked like. I think the first period looked a little unique, and I don't think that Zionsville quite came out fully ready, but definitely there in that second period they were able to come out with the fire that we saw in the Cathedral game, and they didn't win the second quarter like I would, if I would, a coach would like,
right,
but they definitely put up a very fair fight there.
Yeah, certainly did. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the trusted professionals at Piper. Inventory management, transportation needs, they do it all. Give them a call, 317-396-1023. We're at halftime. Hamilton Southeastern leads it 9-4.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really serve a lot of people year-round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open, and so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. You know, donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so. We're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space. And so we have bed capacities for sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program, with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, and which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to really open your eyes to the community's needs than to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler Mission. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner, come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, yeah. Exactly. For IndianaSRN, this is Keith Myers.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort correct food. You can expect a world-class experience. We've got incredible specials, great service. Everything that we do here is made from scratch. We hand-cut all our steaks in-house. Bring your family, come have some great food.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print signs and mailing services in Indianapolis. Give them a call, 317-328-2555. Always talk about you go into the locker room, you make the adjustments necessary. We're going to talk first off about Zionsville. Had a chance to at least, I think, make this very close, and 5 is still okay, but they gave up that last goal to Reichert at 2:11. So now what do they got to do here in the second half?
I think they got to play the step up that they made from the first period to the second period. If they can replicate that and make that same gap into this, I think it's going to be a much closer game.
Well, and you got to be, again, we talked about how impressed we are with Hamilton Southeastern because they've been able to answer every time that Zionsville has come down and scored as that pass goes to the inside and a turnover. HSE's been able to come back and score very quickly to get that momentum right back.
Yeah, HSE has played a almost perfect game, I would say. I think there's some things on the offensive side, like some silly turnovers that has caused them to give up these 4 goals to Zionsville. But other than that, on the offensive side, majority of the time, I mean, you have 9 goals. That's obviously a great sign. Defensive side, time and time again, we've seen all of the white jerseys come out like a flood and build that wall around their goalie and overall protect them.
Well, Gastineau said, you know what? I'm going to do it again. And so Gastineau on the board for the 3rd time. She has the hat trick tonight as well, and a great start for the Royals here in the 3rd. Take another look.
Wow, just over her right shoulder there, coming across, stick in her left hand, over her right shoulder. Nice cross-body shot there for Gastineau.
Well, they have, again, set the tone, speaking of the Royals, in every quarter so far. And you love teams that anytime that somebody scores against you, their ability to come back and basically do the same thing just shows you how good they are.
Yeah, and I think I said this once before, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like with Silver, the quickness, the speed to her shot, Gastineau finding it inside there over the right shoulder. If you found it once, more than not, you're going to find it again.
So Zionsville back on offense, now down by 6 here in the 3rd. By the way, the good news for us is that little rain shower we had is now gone. This weekend we're expecting perhaps some more rain showers that could affect some play, as there is a nice stick check once again. HSE's defense really doing a nice job forcing Zionsville to maybe take some shots that they don't really want to take. As once again, Zionsville working behind the cage. They'll keep possession here. Unfortunately, if you're the Eagles, they just have not had a good possession here offensively. That'll be a push against HSC.
I think some things that get underlooked is the defense. Sure, they might give up some shots, but forcing the unbalanced, awkward shots is going to cause the shot to be altered and could decide if it goes in or not.
Well, and you're exactly right. That was another instance where Hamilton Southeastern defensively got a tip just enough to disrupt that offensive play and get a turnover that time. Unfortunately, they give it right back.
And here we are again. Turnovers lead to offense, and offense could lead to a goal here. And so having the possession clock more on your side here whenever you on offense could decide the game too. And as we've seen, HSC has had the possession a lot of the time here in this game.
Well, one thing I noticed a little bit about HSC in that last possession, I think one thing they want to do is, knowing how much that Zionsville likes to bring their defense into that zone, is try to beat them down the field. There's a shot and a score. And Zionsville on the board. That's going to be Sydney Rose. Rose gets her 2nd of the night. But as I was about ready to point out, I think what HSC's trying to do is beat that defensive pressure and get down the field as quickly as they can. Take another look at it. So Rose with her 2nd. This one coming at 8:49 here in the 3rd. And the lead back down to 5. HSC has led this contest from the start. Got out to a quick 3-0 lead. As we mentioned a little bit ago, every time that it appears Zionsville might make a little bit of a run, HSC comes back. Let's see if they'll do it right here. Draw control won by Hamilton Southeastern. Quickly in the critical scoring area. Nice pass to the inside, just a little bit off the mark, and a turnover there for the Royals. Boy, not a successful clear that time for the Eagles. She was pretty much fair game where she was, too, by the way, for fans that are watching. And there's another turnover. That's going to be number 15 now for Zionsville. Here come the Royals once again. That is Gastineau. Backs it away. Nice pass is going to be knocked down. And another turnover the other way. So we've gone back and forth with turnovers by both these teams in these possessions.
Already coming out. We've only been here just over 7 minutes, and the intensity has been amped up to level 10 already comparative to what that first half was.
And I would think Zionsville's going to have to. They're going to have to pick up, you mentioned intensity, but two, maybe play a little more physical here in the second half. As you saw a push from behind, that'll go against Hamilton Southeastern. Let's see what the Eagles can do here as they get it into the offensive zone. Here's a great chance now to cut that lead down to 4. Pass to the inside, the turn, that's knocked down. Let's see if we've got a penalty right here. Not sure what the official on this side called on that one. Dangerous shot. So that's going to be a penalty right there and a dangerous shot against Zionsville. So back over now to Hamilton Southeastern with that penalty and turning it over. That is number 16 now for Zionsville. A lot of those possessions, they're going to look back at the film on this one and think, boy, if we'd have just done this. And it might be some of the small things that could cost them. In this one, you're denied. Nice pass to the inside, the quick release. And Olivia Bradley able to score. And right back, HSE puts another one, and they lead it now by 6.
Nice pass there by number 24, Emma Reichert. And obviously with Olivia Bradley there to get the goal. She said she's highly competitive, not to be outdone by her twin, number 12, Reese Bradley. I think I like that mentality you have there. You kind of have that siblingly rivalry there. And I think it at the end of the day, it's going to force both of them to get better.
Yeah.
And I know with me, with my siblings growing up when I was younger, using that to become as skilled as when I was actually still an athlete, bode for me well.
And how old are you now?
I'm 22.
I have underwear older than you. 6:36 as the draw control won by Hamilton Southeastern. That has been impressive to me. Again, with any time that a goal was scored by Zionsville, how quickly HSE has come back and scored.
Yeah, I think that is a part of their plan, a part of the game plan.
Oh my, how about that shot?
Wow.
As long as she wasn't in the crease, and that might be the difference maker here. As all three officials getting together, I think that might have been Reese Bradley, but was she pushed from behind? That's the other question. Now the scoring table, as you see, is on the other side. It isn't like they look toward the press box and give us any clear indication of sometimes of what is called.
I think they're going to reverse the call, and call it no goal just based off of the way they're lining up.
Yeah, and brought it all the way back to midfield. So that would have been a heck of a goal there for Reese Bradley, but they wave it off.
Unfortunately, I was looking down at the paper. All I saw was Bradley in the air. I didn't get to see it.
Well, right there, Reese Bradley was thinking, I'm going to get that back. Unfortunately, a turnover there for HSE. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials, so do your part and practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we can't play. Penalty there against HSC with 5:22 remaining here in the third.
I think after that rain, it's kind of cooled off a little bit. I'm getting a little chilly in here.
Would you like a jacket?
I'm okay. I'll survive.
You got a long walk to your car, too, don't forget.
Oh, that's true.
Not that we're reminding you about that. Here is Sydney Rose again behind the cage. Zionsville trying to get that offense going. DeHart has been held in check pretty much most of the night. You see Sydney Rose ended up losing it. 17 now for Zionsville. Errant pass is Edie Fisher able to run it down to the far sideline. Good job that time by Fisher. Here come the Royals once again. The pass just a little bit off the mark. Gastineau had a nice cut down the lane. Just unable to haul it in. Hamilton Southeastern has scored 3 out of the last 4 goals in this game, and it's been the pattern all night long. Anytime that Zionsville has scored, the Royals have come right back to put a goal on the board themselves as we're getting down under the 4-minute mark here in the third.
I would almost go as far as saying they've matched it with not just the 1 goal, but almost put 2 to over or 1 up Zionsville.
Well, that pass was high again, and unfortunately it cost Zionsville another possession as they'll double team very close to midfield. Trying to get it away from Reagan James. And now into the offensive zone once again is Gastineau, wasting no time. Makes her move to the inside, tries the shot. Whistle will stop play here at 3:19. And Gastineau did a nice job getting that ball back to the inside. We'll have a free position shot right here. This is number 4 on the night now for the Royals. Hash mark straight away, low shot, and the score for Gastineau. Heck of a night so far for Gastineau as they score at the 3:03 mark. 2 in a row now for the Royals, and they've opened up an 8-goal lead.
Well, Gastineau out here today just proving why she's on that All-American watch list, coming out red hot here in this game, especially after that last goal, showing out.
Gastineau scored at 7:58 of the first as time ran out at the end of the first. Got another one at 10:58 of the third, and her second goal here in this third quarter. So Gastineau now with 4 goals tonight.
2 more and she'll get that sock trick,
which has become infamous now in the world of lacrosse. Fight for the draw control. Zionsville has had success in the draw controls tonight. Have not been able to put those draw controls into scores because they've turned it over too many times. That's unofficially 19 turnovers now by Zionsville. And in transition, here come the Royals. And what you like about Hamilton Southeastern right there is that if it's not there, they're not forcing it. The high pass once again. See if that was tipped or not. It was not, so that'll be a turnover again for HSC. You gotta like teams who can decipher whether there's anything to really work on offensively in that zone, or you just go ahead and try to score. And Hamilton Southeastern has done just about everything perfectly after they've given up a goal here tonight. Long pass to midfield. 50-50 ball, and we're going to continue to fight for it. Picked up by HSC. There's number 20. And then Hamilton Southeastern is in a giving mood as well. They will give it right back. So that's 17 now by HSE.
A giving mood.
A giving mood.
I don't know if that was intentional or not with giving them the ball, but I mean, hey, if you're receiving the ball, you accept the gift.
How about that shot once again? And the score, it'll be Alexa DeHart. 67 on the year, 195 for her career.
14, Alexa DeHart.
Wow, she wasn't even looking at the goal. There was a looking away back shot behind her, and that was very impressive. And this is that was her hat trick of the game, is what I have. I have that as her third goal, and I believe 196 to overall on her career.
Yep, I was one off, wasn't I? So the hat trick for DeHart makes it a 13-6 contest. Draw control won again by Zionsville. So it's down to a 13-6 lead. Ball comes loose once again as we're down to the last minute remaining here in this third quarter.
1 minute remaining in third quarter.
DeHart not scored as much as what she did in the Cathedral game. HIC has definitely made her work for the goals that she has gotten in this game. And they're pausing play.
The official talking with one of the HSE players. Looked like that was Sundling, the sophomore. And it will be a free position opportunity from the hash mark right here for Zionsville. Chance to close the gap once again, and the shot, and it will be a goal. It'll be DeHart once again. Alexa DeHart, 2 in a row, and it's now 13-7.
I think DeHart kind of just made me eat my word there. I said that HSE was making her work for the goal. I still think she had to work for that one, but she's sitting at 4 goals now and 197. And if she makes me eat my words and gets 200 today, then so be it.
So be it, right. Well, she's got 4, as you'd mentioned, so Gastineau 4 for Hamilton Southeastern, 4 now for DeHart, and it's down to 6 again. Both these teams, with their ability to score, and we talked about this before, their ability to score is going to put them in great position in that tournament for sure.
And I would, if this matchup were to happen again, I would love to catch that, just to watch these teams face off again, because if whichever team were to fall here would want to get that revenge and want to get that game back, especially when it means the most.
Well, Gastineau said, you know what? I'm going to put another one up there. She has 5 tonight. And just like that, after 2 straight goals by Zionsville, they get another one back. And that hill just, for Zionsville, they just can't quite seem to get over the top of that.
Yeah, they're getting there. They keep putting goals on the scoreboard. And then they have somebody on top of that hill just pushing them and holding them up. And every step they get, the harder the guy pushes on them as they climb up, and just not quite able to climb out of the hole that they dug.
So Gastineau has 5, and by the way, that came at exactly 24 seconds after DeHart had scored. So that trend continues tonight for Hamilton Southeastern, is every time it seems like Zionsville's going to make a little bit of a run, it turns out that Hamilton Southeastern able to answer the call every time. Chance here with seconds running down. Can he get a shot off? The pass a little bit off the mark. And that will end a very active third period. We'll head to the 4th. Hamilton Southeastern leading this one 14-7.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. If you'd like more information, give him a call, 317-894-7000. Now you're down to your last quarter. And so for Zionsville, the one area they've had success has been the draw control. Unfortunately, you take away the amount of turnovers, and that kind of takes away the draw control wins here tonight. So they got to find a way now to get some stops. And I'm talking about shutting out HSE here in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, it could be a long, long night the rest of the way.
Yeah, and back to what I said even at the end of the first quarter, you just got to win this final quarter. If you outscore Hamilton Southeastern by 7 in this quarter to force the overtime, then wow, congratulations, tip your cap. But I think at this point you have to go to ease the bleeding. Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Butler's getting a good one in Gastineau, and you mentioned earlier too with Reichert going to Eastern Michigan, you can tell why they're two D1 type players. But Gastineau, the way she's able to maneuver herself by defenders and get herself into scoring position has been very impressive.
Yeah, not only has she proven why D1 athlete type, but All-American in that as well, and showing that not only is she capable and has the skill of going D1, she's proven that she is top of the top, elite of the elite, and what she does.
And she'll be taking her wares to Butler, where they'll play in the Big East starting next year, but she's maybe hoping to add a few more tonight, right?
Yeah, add a little bit more to her resume throughout this season.
Well, she is with the 5 tonight. She now has 51 on the season, which leads the team in goals. I'm still very impressed with how Hamilton Southeastern, even they don't never panic, giving up a couple of goals, and just their ability to come back and score the way they have has been very impressive here tonight. 10th draw control this evening for HSC, and we get into the stage now where you think about ball control. If you can possess, it's going to limit the amount of opportunities that Zionsville will have the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would look for HSC to run the clock a bit, as what I would say is happening right now. Run the clock a little bit. If you get something towards the net, a cut down the middle, find yourself a goal there. But for the most part, run the clock out. If you get the goal, go for it. But I would look for Zionsville here to start looking to put a little bit more pressure on if they want to make any run here in this fourth quarter.
Well, you kind of see it right here, too. Is Hamilton Southeastern played 2 behind the cage. We'll bring it out. If we get something inside, we'll take it. It's kind of like we're not going to score unless we score a layup here, and I kind of like the patience.
Yeah. It's like in basketball, when you're up by 25 or so, fourth quarter, you got, 3 minutes or so, run the shot clock off. If you get something, a layup, take it. If not, settle for a final good shot. Now here in high school lacrosse, you don't have a shot clock.
Which is a big benefit, too.
Yeah.
One thing about it, too, you tell your team, we don't have to score again. If we just hold on to it, we're going to win this thing by 7 no matter what. But unfortunately, an errant pass right there. See if it's going to stay. It will stay here. So they got lucky that time. They didn't turn it over.
Yeah, I actually had a game in basketball when I was a junior in high school where in a postseason game, the other team held the ball for the whole third quarter.
Oh, boy.
And because of the no shot clock, it was a very boring third quarter.
Yeah, I bet it was. Well, there's a turnover again for Hamilton Southeastern, but they did run quite a bit of time off the clock. And here come the Eagles once again. They'll set it up behind the cage. Got to work a little quicker offensively, though, than they have, at least here in the second half. You're down by 7. And if you look at the other side here, as you see DeHart on the spin, the double team was there. Nice pass and then a good save. Good job there by Philhauer. If you think about going back to this end again, and if you can run off 2 minutes at a time, there's no possessions left there for Zionsville again.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, boy, they come down and score once again. It's going to be Anna Silver once again getting the goal. I'm going to have to score this on the back of my sheet here, by the way.
That was an HSE goal for number 8, Anna Silver. Assist, number 24, Emma Reichert.
Reichert will get the assist as Silver had 2 goals in the second quarter. She now has 4 on the night. We've had several players, multiple scoring here this evening. That one coming at 9:07. And now the lead back to 15-7. Well, I guess that's a pattern we better get used to for HSE, is that don't panic. Even if you give up a goal, even if you turn it over, you're still able to get down and get in that critical scoring area.
Yeah, I think that is a great mentality to have. Keep the composure. If you give up 1, it's okay, and we can come back and put 2 on the board, and that is exactly what's happened with HSE here.
Well, that defense just forced another turnover. That's 21 now for Zionsville on the night. So, yeah, we can talk a lot about the scoring side of things, but that HSE defense has been a huge key here this evening. And, of course, you got to give Philhauer a lot of credit, too. This is a team that, when you think about Zionsville, they can score almost at will on anybody, and she's only given up to 7 so far here tonight. And the other thing about when you look at Zionsville and their keeper, she's giving up, coming in at 9.62, so think about what they've done against her, and they scored 15 against her tonight. And you'll see the Royals again will be able to run a little clock here in the offensive zone as they've gotten it under 8 minutes. And to tell you what, I was watching a game the other night where when you have in collegiately, you have that shot clock, but it resets. And if you're on defense, when that thing resets 3 or 4 times, you're going to get awful tired.
Oh, yeah, because it's depending on if it's men's or women's, it's either 60 seconds or 70 seconds. Yeah. And each time that happens, I mean, I think that's a whole nother minute that they can hold the ball. And, I mean, even in this case scenario, if you hold it for a minute, we'll say Zionsville goes down and scores a goal. That's still not going to matter because 1 minute, you got 7 goals, you're still going to be winning by 1.
And they've run a ton of time off the clock right here. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill. Amazing fresh food and servers who care about the service. Give them a call at 866-885-3249. A good job here by the Royals again. They are playing this very smart. This is good IQ on their part. Just take care of the ball. If it's not there, just go ahead and set it up once again. But that will be called against Zionsville. So we have a free position opportunity here for the Royals. Nice jump off the stick, and the score as Reese Bradley on the board again, and Hamilton Southeastern now leads it by 9. And we've got a timeout by Zionsville. We'll take a timeout as well. 6:24 remaining. It is all Hamilton Southeastern.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt. Insulting referees.
Threatening officials.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes.
Violent language in the stands.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot. It's not a game.
want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern, tonight's game brought to you in part by Wheeler Mission. They've been serving the Indianapolis community for over 131 years, providing hope, healing, and help for people in need. If you'd like more information, give them a call, 317-686-6239. And don't forget, when we're done, the Morales Group postgame show, and we'll be naming the Piper Logistics player of the game. I think we know who that's going to be. We won't give it up yet, or you won't give it up yet, since you're the one that has to do that part of it. But I think overall, just an impressive night for HSC. I'm glad we had a chance to see him again, because they're playing maybe as good. I mean, everybody's going to turn the ball over against good teams. We'll take that equation out of it for the moment. But other than that, very impressive. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They're just very good.
Yeah, I mean, putting up 16 on this quality of a team that Zionsville is. Now, this game, it doesn't give justice to the quality team that Zionsville is, as we saw them put on a clinic against Cathedral a couple weeks ago. But I can't help but think that Reese Bradley had been wanting to get her goal back that she lost for quite some time, and on our notes saying that how competitive that her and her twin are, and that being Olivia Bradley, wanting to even out the goal that Olivia scored, just wanting to keep that competitiveness there. And, you know, when they go home or on the ride home, talk about it.
That's what I did, yeah. I scored one more than you did.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, draw control here. Tonight, that's been at least a bright spot for Zionsville. I have them for 13 draw controls this evening. But after that timeout, time is going to be a huge factor the rest of the way. That'll be number 14 now for Zionsville, and that'll be a stick a little bit high on that one. So we've got a yellow, and that will send a player to the sidelines there for HSC. That'll be Reagan James. So now Zionsville, chance to go one up here. Next up for Hamilton Southeastern, the trip to Fishers. It's not very far away, is it? So that'll be on Saturday. And we're going to be thinking tournament time here very soon. Nice move to the inside. Shot is going to be a little bit wide to the left. Good effort there by Ventrone.
Speaking of short drives, I was very thankful for this short amount of drive it was to come over here to Hamilton Southeastern. Only about 30 minutes from Anderson University, and so I was very thankful for it.
Took me 46 to get here, and I'm only in downtown Indy. A 465 is crazy during rush hour, as you probably know. Good defense again by the Royals.
Yeah, I-69 was very, very grateful to me today.
Ventrone with the score. So Ava gets on the board here for Zionsville in the fourth.
Play number 3, Ava Ventrone.
It's number 97 in her career, honing in on that 100 career goals, and I would like to think that she'd get that too by the end of the season.
Yeah.
3 goals is not hard to get whatsoever, especially in the caliber that Ventrone is. And you're not going to play a team like HSC every day.
No doubt about it. All right, so that'll make it 16-8 with only 5:16 remaining. The mystery of this one has been taken out for quite a while, even though when DeHart got back-to-back goals and made it 13-7, then Gastineau came back and got another goal at 20.6 seconds there in the third, but it's really been kind of one of those nights where really from the very beginning, HSE set the tone. We talked about that in the pregame, who's going to set the tone early, and it was the Royals, and they've proven that by getting out to that early big lead, not saying they could relax at any time, but it's kind of give them a sense of confidence, hasn't it?
Yeah, and if I was a betting man, which I tend to not be, I would have put money on Zionsville coming out early, coming out hot, as we saw them do versus Cathedral. And it turned out that the Royals were actually the team that actually came out and did that.
Yeah.
Took me by surprise, at least.
Well, no doubt about it. They've not only set the tone for tonight, but if they do meet again in the playoffs, you would imagine HSE has a little psychological advantage as DeHart trying that shot low, backhanded. She had to try to at that stage, dodge away from three players, and that's hard to do.
Well, she had done something similar. I believe it was the one in the third, and she actually was successful there. And I think that, fool me once, shame on me. Yeah. Fool me twice. That whole thing. And so I think HSE kind of picked up on that.
So now Hamilton Southeastern with 4 minutes remaining here in this one. They're about to win their 8th matchup in their last 9 games. And they've had some impressive wins, no doubt about it, during that period of time, and they're almost a perfect 9 of 9 other than that loss to Guerin, in which they lost that one 12-10. There will be a turnover. That'll be one area that I'm sure that they will look at on tape, and how can we cut down on the turnovers for the rest of the year. That's going to really be, I think, a big key for both these teams. And you look at Zionsville, I think it's kind of uncharacteristic that they have 21 turnovers tonight for sure, but give HSE a lot of credit for forcing a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, when you force 21 turnovers in a game, you're setting yourself up for success there. We're talking about if you lose a game where you're forcing 21 turnovers, I think you almost got to look at how many turnovers you gave up.
Right.
21 turnovers is a large number, and if you lose that game, we might have some other issues to look at.
Addie Faber had a chance. That pass was to the inside. Faber turned, and again, that defense just really clamping down on all these scores for Zionsville at the right time, and then a turnover back the other way. And here come the Royals once again. Let's see if they'll try to get another quick one or just use the clock once again, as they'll work it behind the cage at 2:23. Now, don't be surprised. They were running a lot of time off earlier, that they can almost run this thing out here in the fourth quarter.
That's what I was thinking. I think if I'm the head coach here of the Royals, I'm running as much clock down as possible. Even if it's 2 minutes left in the game, if you can run it down to 30 seconds, even to the end of the game, unless you have an absolute wide open shot, just run as much clock as you can.
And spread as much as you can. That was a good job that time by Reichert. She brought it all the way back out, and then just basically took it to the other side. And again, that's going to force Zionsville to do a lot of chasing here. I think the key is Zionsville is going to try to double you. They're not going to win this game, there's no doubt about it at this stage, but they're going to try to double you and get that ball back as much as they can. So this is even a kind of a learning thing for HSE, is just to use that clock and stay away from the double team.
Yeah, something that I remember is that third quarter coming out very intense, because the intensity was ranked up, but I would say by the time we got through about half of that, maybe the latter 3 minutes of that quarter, it almost kind of disappeared almost.
Yeah.
And whether it's due to, we're down big, why even try, or if it's just ran out of energy, just ran out of gas in the tank. There could be a lot of reasons to that. But that was a big standout factor that was in my head on Zionsville's side.
Look at the energy Reichert has. She's doing it again, and then just wisely gives it back outside. But that's the second time she's made that little curl and running a long distance just to keep it away from the Zionsville defenders. We are down to 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter.
I mean, every time she does that, that probably gets 10, 15 seconds off the clock.
Yep.
So each time you do that, I mean, you got to think you do it 4 times. That's a minute at the least. And I mean, we're down to 45 seconds left.
Yeah, and of course, all Zionsville can do here is that'll be another penalty that will give HSC complete control right here. We will be naming not only the player of the game, we'll recap a little bit in the Morales Group post-game show, but it was all HSC here tonight. Zionsville with 15 seconds remaining. Can they get one more on the board? That's Ben Trone, fires high. Phil Hauer would have read that one well on the high shot. And last chance now for Zionsville. Can they get one last look right here? The low shot knocked down. That's going to do it. As Hamilton Southeastern, an impressive win here tonight. The final 16-8. Tonight's postgame show brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Whether you're looking to start a new career or grow your team with exceptional talent, the Morales Group is here to help you succeed. Impressive win tonight for the Royals, no doubt about it.
That's 100% true. Coming out by winning right at double their score. Got to give hats off here to HSC on their big blowout win over Zionsville. Quite the surprising to me that Zionsville would lose like that. But the efforts were definitely out there, and we can at that point only say good effort, and you'll get the next one.
All right, time to name the Piper Logistics player of the game. From warehousing to transportation, Piper Logistics delivers solutions that keep you on the move with efficiency and reliability. Piper Logistics gets the job done. Who is the Piper Logistics player of the game?
The Piper Logistics player of the game is Sarah Gastineau.
Gastineau surpassing 50 goals tonight. She had 5 on the night and really set the tone. It seemed like every time that Zionsville scored, she was the one that came back and got the matching goal. So again, it will be Sarah Gastineau going to Butler, as she is now the Piper Logistics player of the game. Now, we remind you to stay tuned to IndianaSRN.org. We'll let you know how the playoff coverage will look. We'll know that once the regular season is over with. We'll have both boys and girls action clear through the state championship games this year, so we're looking forward to that as well. And don't forget, we will be heading to Terre Haute tomorrow. We have baseball and softball from Rose Hallman. We'll be back there on Saturday for baseball, so make sure you tune in for those games as well. Thanks to the entire crew. Great job as always here tonight. We want to thank you for being with us as well. Hamilton Southeastern winning it tonight by a final of 16-8. We'll see you next time right here on Indiana SRN.